Hey everybody, I'm the Dr. Bob Lee for 107.5 WBLS. Welcome to Open BXRX. Coming up on today's show, we'll learn about the world-renowned musician who talks about how he got started in the music industry and how he's given back to the community and promote his upcoming performance. A lot coming your way. Then we'll speak to an emerging self-made fashion designer who will promote his upcoming seasonal fashion lines. After that, we'll hear from a jazz artist who's releasing her latest album and shine a light on why this is the most impactful project of her career. And then Bobby C, he steps into the room with the latest in the world of sports. And then finally, we'll speak to the women who they're promoting trauma and healing support services for domestic violence victims. All of this and more coming your way. Stay tuned, you don't want to miss it. Hey everybody, I'm your host, Dr. Bob Lee, and you're watching Open. You know, it's that live interactive program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to your TV set. You can stay connected to us through social media at BronxNet TV. Leading things off, our first guest is a two-time Grammy Award winner, and he's in the house. He's getting ready to do his thing. I know all about him. We did the research. And he's a world-renowned musician who performed with the musical pioneers and is a musical pioneer himself. He's on the drums. Watch out. We sit down with him today to highlight his upcoming projects and to share some insight on his journey into the music industry. Please welcome to the show, Will Calhoun in the building. Will, welcome.
Great, thank you. Nice to be here, man. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah,
I heard you get busy on the drums. I was watching this little kid, I think it was on Instagram, and he went viral. He was like, it was a little kid. He was just tearing it up. So I sent it around to some of my drummer friends. I'm going to send you a copy of that too if you didn't see it.
Yeah.
So tell us, they always ask you how you got started in the business and how did it all work out for you and what was the thought behind it? Did you think that you were going to become a drummer or
Never.
a musician?
Never. The Bronx made me a musician.
The Boogie Down
The Boogie Down
BX,
Bronx.
all right.
My older brother played drums. A great musician named Steve Jordan, drummer and producer, lived around the corner from me, as did the great Ray Chu.
Oh, yeah.
So we were all in the same neighborhood. Our parents kind of had us all in the same music programs, and that was my example. And I followed. They were all my big brothers, and I followed them, and they made it very possible for me to be where I'm sitting today.
Yeah.
So it just came right from the neighborhood.
Yeah. You know, the more people that I talk to, the more I find out that we have a whole lot in common. You mentioned Ray Chu. I've worked with him at the world famous Apollo Theater.
Okay.
We had something that happened. We brought this, I'm going to do this briefly because I want to talk more about you, but we brought this guy on. He wanted to be like, hidey, 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 ho. He came up and did that. And he got booed off the stage. So he ran up the aisle and came back around the other side and got on stage, and we did like a big, I said, why did you want to do something like that? And come to find out that he was planted there by the Arsenio Hall show. So we wound up being on the Arsenio Hall show and everything. So the Apollo Theater and Harlem Week, they're trying to put something together, the Uptown Chamber, they're trying to put something together and just document all of this history.
Wow, beautiful thing.
So Ray Chu.
His backyard faced my backyard.
Yeah.
My parents are very close, so.
And you always heard him playing.
He was on the set at a very young age. He already had it.
And they always heard you playing too.
Yeah, they heard me playing as well. Exactly. Yes, that's true. So.
Now, I heard you telling a little story about how you had to tell your neighbors that, hey man, I'm on the drums, so I want to let you know, so you won't call the cops on me.
Yeah, respectfully, let them know, and then moved in. I'm still in the same neighborhood I grew up in, and I went to my neighbors and let them know I'm a drummer. I don't plan on padding up my place or something. I just figured I'd be honest with them.
Right.
And took a bottle of wine and a business card. And basically said, this is my name. Yeah. This wine is for you. If things get too loud, you hear something you don't like or see something you don't like, call that number. It'll stop in 10 seconds.
You left one thing out. But don't, we got...
I did.
But you invited them over.
I invited
You
them
said,
over.
Hey, man, you come over.
The
this is what I
barbecues,
do.
they can come over and eat in the backyard. Whenever my friends came over, it was all love.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
So from there to now, are you touring around? You were in some movies. You were in a number of things.
I'm COVID obviously put a bit of
Yeah.
a change on a few things, but
Uh-huh.
Play Drums with Living Color.
Yeah.
It's the rock band, Living Color, and we're back kind of on the road, getting started again. My jazz quintet's playing around a bit as well
Yeah.
too. So things are starting to come back into play. We did Rock in Rio. We talked about Brazil earlier. So
Yeah.
we played Rock in Rio, which is nice, and we are playing at the end of this month, actually tonight, Halloween night at the City Winery.
All right.
So we're back in the mix and we're doing that, and things are starting to move. And I have some art projects, some visual. I'm a visual artist.
Yeah.
My pieces are at the MoMath Museum downtown. You can go down and check those out. Or look at Will Calhoun Art.com.
Yeah. That's real
And I have
cool.
some visual art that deals with drumming and lights and movement. And I perform kind of a solo drum piece along with the
Yeah.
visual art. So I'm
Let's
mixing it up, man.
Let's take a look at you in action.
Okay.
Let's go to the videotape. I saw you. Welcome back with the great Will Calhoun. You know, he's been everywhere, and we'll let you know more about him. And I thank you guys. I thank you for coming in and
pleasure.
sitting down with me and experiencing your wonderful experience. Now, last month we lost a great,
Yes.
Farrah Saunders. She's a great American jazz saxophonist, composer, and a band leader. Talk about your experience with her.
Farrah, of course, was very good friends with John Coltrane as well. So there's that history there. But Farrah was someone who, as a band leader and a jazz legend, allowed me to bring my own personality to his music. He was the first, him and Bobby Watson, but Farrah really was the first jazz musician who allowed me to be kind of Will Calhoun in his band, because I like to bring in different things from the Caribbean, from West Africa, from the Bronx.
Yeah.
All these kind of mix it all in there, the flavors, and he had no problem with me doing that. So it was an honor to work with Farrah. He gave me really great advice in my career, and we all miss him dearly, but you know, his classic song, The Creator Has a Master Plan, is something that we play in our shows to end the set every night to remind the audience of how important this man was to the world.
Yeah. So not only him, who were some of the other people that you that inspired you, who helped move you in this direction?
Wow. Well, I mentioned Steve Jordan, certainly Wayne Shorter.
Yeah.
My first professional gig at age 19 was with Harry Belafonte.
Whoa, yeah.
And Harry was somebody who pretty much, A, brought me into the business, but B, gave me the most incredible sound advice, which I still use today.
What did he tell you? And how did he say it? Because you know Harry.
He gave it to me with the side eye. Sign your own checks, first of all.
Yeah.
Make sure you're in control of your own money. Don't be concerned with being on top. Be in the mix.
Yeah.
On top, sometimes you become too much of a target. And he definitely stressed to do what I love. Like, make that a priority. If you love playing music or whatever style of music, do that, because you don't want it to turn out to be a little bit sideways. So him and B.B. King gave me sound advice. B.B. also told me, young man, be true to your art, because you never want to have to tell a lie and it becomes a hit. Then you have to lie for the rest of your life. So BB and Harry gave me the bookend elders advice. So
did they give you some financial advice also?
Harry definitely did, and gave me recommendations to people to speak to.
Yeah.
Living Color, at that time we were just starting out, but as the band took off and we won Grammys, I reached back out to Harry. He was always open to, hey man, call this guy. Are you okay with this? Taxes, investments, and so on. He was very open to share information.
You had to make sure you had clean because those tax people come after you.
Oh yeah, they wait for all the smoke to go away, and then there they are knocking on the door.
You know that's right.
Taking your car.
Now, now, did you keep your money under your drums like Aretha Franklin? She kept hers under the piano, and when she was singing, she had that connection with the crowd and her money.
I kept it
But
close.
I love her. She's a
I kept it
beautiful
close.
person.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And Aretha had reasons to do that, and I think there's something to say about her and Chuck Berry,
Yeah.
who were interested in getting paid first and knowing that the cash was there, and then going on stage, because it's a business where you
Let me
can
tell you,
easily be taken advantage of.
Yeah, I've hosted plenty of shows where there was a pause. Nobody wanted to come on stage until they were straightened out. Colonel Abrams, I mean, a lot of people, that I've hosted for in the past.
You can't get it when the show's over.
No, you can't. And I remember somebody sitting out in the car, they owed her another $1,000. They paid her like, I think it was about $25,000, $26,000 at that time. And they owed her another $1,000. She did not go on until they gave her that money.
If you work at any other business, right, a computer company, car company, law firm, you do your work, you put your time in, you clock your hours, you get paid. You don't do 20 hours of lawyer work and get paid for 15.
Exactly.
It's no different than any other job.
So you have a lot of stuff under your belt. Where do we find you? Are you, where do we find
I'm
you?
at
Social media?
Instagram, Will Calhoun Drum.
Yeah.
I'm online at willcalhoun.com and livingcolor.com. Twitter is Will Calhoun Drum as well, too. So you can find me in the, and you can Google me and get some legal information.
And we have the other studio right here. We have more time. We need a longer show because we want to put you on the drums over there and let you get busy.
Well, let's do that next time.
And I'll pick up a bass and maybe I'll just follow.
You left that part out, man. Dr. Lee, come on, man. Let's go. We could have done that today.
Jeff Fox
pleasure.
is still trying to get me on that bass. He handed it to me during the New York City Marathon 2 years ago. He said, just keep the G note going. I said, wait, I play the air bass. I don't play a real bass. And here we go.
Here you go. Well, look, I have to give my props to you. I've been a great fan of yours all of these years, so it's nice to be on the show with you and get the interview. And congrats to the books and everything that you're doing and putting the information out there.
And to your first book, I heard, Birdie told me.
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Will
you, brother.
Calhoun, musician, Living Color and Blackstone Raiders. Thank you. Thanks.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
See you soon.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right.
We'll take a quick break right here. We'll come back and give you a whole lot more. Open next.
We built a media network for you.
BronxNet TV.
Come learn in your new state-of-the-art studios at Lehman College.
At Mercy College.
And coming soon to the South Bronx in the Hub.
Inspire with your stories, culture, history.
Your Bronx on BronxNet.
Engage with us.
Connect with us at your channels and at bronxnet.tv.
Learn, engage, inspire. BronxNet TV.
From the Bronx
to the world.
BronxNet.
And I hope you are enjoying yourself. Check it out. Our next guest is an emerging self-made fashion designer based in New York City. He joins us today to showcase his Agreste and Lily fashion lines and to reflect on his journey into the fashion industry. So please welcome to the show, Patrick Cupid. Cupid, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm great. Good morning. Good morning.
Good, good. So how long have you been in the fashion world?
The Patrick Cupid brand started in 2017.
Uh-huh.
I'm now entering my 5th year, and it's been great so far. I became an interim member of the CFDA at the start of the year.
Yeah.
I'm now selling internationally with a new store called Daphne and Chloe in Belgium. I'm selling at City Girl Atelier in San Francisco, Danielle in San Francisco. Yeah, so it's good. It's been great.
That's good. That's good. Are you involved in New York Fashion Week?
We do, but we're doing wholesale for the market. We haven't done any runway shows yet, so hopefully that'll be on the calendar for next season.
Yeah.
But we've been doing pop-up, meeting buyers and retailers. We have a wholesale business model, and so I work with the Good Six showroom.
Oh, good.
Down in Midtown, yeah, and it's been good. So we will do every season. we present the new collection, and the buyers will come in to take a look at it. The press comes in to take a look at it. It's a more intimate way for them to get to touch and feel the clothing.
Yeah, that's beautiful. What was your inspiration behind this?
The Agresto collection, well, the ethos or the idea behind the brand is really focusing on independent women, women that are self-motivated, self-started, that really enjoy being a woman in every sense of the word and celebrating their femininity. And so each collection sort of builds on that story from a different perspective or a different point of view. Agresto, by definition, is a plant that grows in the wild. It's sort of the untamed heart, the untamed spirit, and the wild. And then there's a lot of sentimentality within the collection. The prints in this collection here, like we're seeing, is more about sort of like movement in nature and sort of like abstractions of like leaves and the colors of the fall. And the idea was really this woman that sort of, lives out in the wild. She's in the woods, but she sort of has her heart aimed at the city. And so even here you're seeing these octagonal shapes, which, reflect the lights of the city at night, like if you're looking at a puddle of rain or in a wet window shield, or in those ways. There's a lot of knit that came into the collection, like the hand-me-down sweater, which is sort of that blue and rusty colored one, which is sort of like different knits mixed and matched and pieced together. Yeah.
And you call it the hand-me-down sweater because of?
It's an oversized like fit, and again, it's that sentimentality. So when you're thinking of a person who's sort of in nature, right, and you have this idea of things being passed down from generation to generation, but after a while they get worn out, they get tattered a little bit, and so you want to renew them and make them your own. You want to be, so you sort of take pieces of maybe another sweater you might have and you connect it to another one. You sort of create your own style.
Yeah, I like those boots. Did you come up with the idea for the boots?
I did. The boots are also mine.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. The boots are also mine.
And does that fall into the Lili or the Agresto category?
What we're just seeing is the Agresto collection, which is the current collection that's on now for fall.
Yeah.
And it goes into resort. So that will be available at Felt's Chicago, at City Girl Atelier in San Francisco, and a few other locations.
But I think you can still use the boots for the Lili. Gotcha.
You can, but Lili is more spring summer, so maybe earlier in the spring you can get away with it. Lili is more, the colors are lighter and softer. We're doing more pastel tones, a little bit smoother. So we're looking at it here. Lighter weight cottons in the printed dress. So these this Aruba blue print, very young, very flirtatious, ultra feminine. Is really where I wanted to go with this collection. Yeah.
I got it. I see it. Now, you mentioned Aruba.
Yeah, so that blueprint, the background color, the ground color is Aruba blue.
Yeah.
So many people ask me about my color palette and how I choose my colors. Well, my family has, they're all from the Caribbean in different parts. And so I attribute my sense of color to that. I think there's a very unique way that within the culture from the different islands that they approach color and the way that they wear them and mix and match them. And if, when done right, it can be very sophisticated.
And you have some upcoming events happening. Tell us about it.
Oh, wow. Well, there's many things. So we're moving into a new space in Midtown. So we'll be at 254 West 35th Street. Yes. So I'm very, very excited about that. And planning a holiday event. We're currently now in the middle of the media tour and are beginning the next collection for fall winter 2023. And we'll be adding menswear.
I think you're moving nicely. I mean, to be in it for 5 years, you're doing a lot, and the designs are like in a number of different countries. I like that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's been good. I mean, it has its challenges, its ups and downs. I started the brand with nothing, really just like the support and faith of friends that have known me, for a long time. They're like, all right, you can't wait anymore. You have to do this. Let us know what you need. And it's taken off even through the pandemic.
Well, there's a lot of challenges. There's a lot of challenges in whatever you want to do. What's some of the challenges, or one of the challenges that you have overcome?
Major one is visibility, and I would say that especially through the pandemic. I think at the start of it, there are many, many businesses that were in their 5-year mark or longer that didn't make it through. You know, at the beginning of it, they were shutting down and going away. And I really sort of sat back and decided, okay, what do I want to do here? Where am I going? How can I evolve through this? How can I make this situation work for me? And I sort of, took a moment to sit back to see what was happening. There were a lot of digital installations coming in because we couldn't do physical runway shows. You couldn't meet buyers in person. And so it was getting online, partnering with Jor, partnering with New Order, working with Harlem Fashion Row and, a bunch of different organizations to really get out there.
Yeah.
Through that, I was able to pick up press, the industry.fashion, we did an article there, and that went really, really well. And I started to see clients. I started to see buyers come in. I think people were really, really ready for something fresh, something a little bit more special.
So it feels
But
good.
also
Started
wearable.
from the bottom, now
Yeah.
we're here. Where can we find you on the web?
I'm at patrickcupid.com. And you can also check me out on Instagram at patrickcupid. You can follow me there, send me a DM if there's something you like or you're interested in seeing, and yeah, we'll get it to you.
Patrick, thank you. Patrick Cupid. Cupid stepped into the room. Thank you. We appreciate you.
No problem. Thank you very much.
And good luck with everything. We'll take a quick break and we'll come back with more Open next. Welcome back, everybody, of the Dr. Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS. You're watching Open, and thank you for joining in. Thank you for tuning in and checking it all out. Our next guest is a jazz musician. She's a pianist. She joins us to highlight her latest album, Groovitude, and to speak to us about why this project is so very important. So please welcome to the show, hey, Rim Jeon. Welcome,
Hello.
welcome.
Hi, Dr.
How
Bob.
are you?
Good,
All right.
great.
Finally, we get a chance to talk and get a chance to meet you and talk about the wonderful things that you're doing on this great project that you're working on.
Beautiful. Thank you for having me. This is my great honor and pleasure to be on your show. And go ahead.
No, keep going.
I think this is a great opportunity to talk about my special project, which is just released last week. And this is called Groovitude. I named this as a groovy plus attitude. So it's a new word that I made up. And I like the name of it because it's a little bit bouncy and funky, kind of fun name for the album.
Yeah, so you've graduated to the next thing. Congratulations. That's another word. Groovitude, congratulations.
Thank you.
So tell us how you got started in this business, this jazz business, and then how you came up with the name Groovitude and this project.
Well, interestingly, I originally came from Korea. I grew up and I came here when I was 18 years old. It was in 1997. And I was once student at Berkeley. That's how I came to Boston. And I'm still there and teaching there. And I'm teaching at the piano department. Yes. And I have a classical background. And I heard the Oscar Peterson, the piano trio album, and that really hooked me up. And I wanted to continue something, brand new and something exploration with my own musicality. So I decided to go on and came to Berkeley. And Yes.
And that's great. So you're also teaching it, but then you said, you know what, let me put out a project. Let me work on a project so I can show my students what I'm doing.
Of course. And I think it's super important to, especially for teachers, to show what your newest project is, especially when you teach someone with somewhere like a Berkeley, where not you're just talking about how important that you should be practicing and you should be doing your own music, but also you have to show, you should set an example of who you are as a musician and performing artist. So this newest album that I recorded was special to me because it was tribute to my dad. And all the songs that was recorded was very special meaning. Each one of us is very special meaning to me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's special. That's special. So, hey, Rim Jeon, when you're teaching your students, do you give them the background, of where you've been, what you're all about, how you got to where you are today?
Oh yeah, and I think it's coming mutually. But most of my students come to me and ask a lot of questions about the same question, and they are very interested in knowing how I came about, how I started, and how I set up for my life in US, and how I, begin my career here, because they're all interested in knowing how this all started and what meaning to me.
Yeah. And this album has had a great impact in your life, honoring your father. And you just put it out last week, huh?
Yes. And I want to tell you, actually, this is not just talking about my personal story. Multi-Grammy award-winning songwriter John Legend once said that artists make personal story universal. So I'm not talking about, how my dad was great and my experience with him and how he influenced me. I'm talking about everyone and their lives. It's your story and my story. It's universal. And we're going through the same thing, especially because of the pandemic, what we're going through for 2.5 years lockdown. And I'm going through the same thing, and I'm experiencing, I'm sharing my own experience and have connected with everyone with my song. That's my goal of this album.
That's beautiful. So are you expected to be on tour soon?
Yes, and now I am starting from Boston, because now everything just begin to opening up, and we haven't had really chance to play as much, but I was very fortunate that Berkeley was still teaching online, and we are now in person, and we still had a lot of opportunity to perform at school. So I had a great opportunity to present my own students' performance and also my own as a faculty concert at Berkeley during the pandemic. And now I'm just got regular residency at Wally's Jazz Club. It's one of the historic, and since early 1900, this club has been there, and it's world famous jazz club. And I will be playing there every Wednesday as a piano residency from 9 to 9:45. So I'll be playing there, and I've been playing all lined up performance schedule for until the next year. So I'm very excited about that.
And you collaborated with a number of people, right? Terry Lynn?
Yes.
And talk about it.
Yeah, Terry has been my friend and mentor for a long time. She was on my record 2008. I released my album with a lot of my original songs. It's called Mona Lisa Puzzle. She co-produced and also played the drums. And so I end up having her and Dave Liebman, jazz legendary saxophonist, and John Largood. I took them to 2009 Jarasam Jazz Festival in Korea, and we played there together. And now this new album, thank you, and new album, the Groovitude, Terry was also featured. And she was very excited because my father, the personal story go beyond this album. We were, scheduled to have a recording session in September, and my father passed away in July. So he never had a chance to listen to the. Thank you. And we basically, she was so graciously participate this album because my father, she personally met my father when we went to the tour in Korea. And he was, of course, the Grammy Award, multi-Grammy Award winning drummer and a wonderful person. My father had the pleasure to meet her and was very excited to hear that she will be on my CD again.
Oh, that must have been very, very special. Yeah, great. And I'm sure your dad's looking down very, very proud of you. You know what? Can we just throw to one of your songs?
Sure.
We'll just take a quick look at one of your songs. Ready?
Sure.
Here we go. Let's take a look. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The work that you're doing is like tremendous. Now you're going to be touring around all over the place. When are you coming back to New York? That's when we want to come and see you.
I love to come back to New York. I played last time in 2020, January, before the lockdown. I played in a place called Spectrum. They had a beautiful Steinway.
Yeah.
And the owner has been my fan for a long time. And we were talking about being a residency and coming down there to play every month. And due to the pandemic, it's postponed. So we're going back to our regular patron schedule in 2023. So I love to have you come down and hear me playing there.
We would love that.
And I would love to.
Yeah, well, we're going to try to make that happen. Before we go, we're going to do a hard rap. I need your social media and everything. But before we go, what was your most memorable and most happy time you came off of the stage and you say, yes, I nailed it?
Fortunately, I have a couple of great, because I have fun with the people who I play with.
Yes.
Well, the one that I just mentioned, I played in Korea, the Jarasan Jazz Festival with the Terry Lynn and Dave Liebman and John Lockwood. That was one of the best memories of mine. And also, I had the great pleasure hosting and Benny Golson, jazz legendary Benny Golson, saxophonist at Berkeley. And he was a keynote speaker for our BTOT committee, our conference. And we played, and I had a great opportunity to interview him. And there was one of the most memorable, fond memories with him as well.
Thank you. Well, it's been great talking to you. Where can we go to find out more? Social media, website? Let us know.
Sure. So if you go to Facebook, of course, I have 5,000 friends already. So I would like to accept you as a friend. In the meantime, I also have Rim Jeon and Friends. That's my group name, Rim Jeon and Friends. Also have a Facebook page and also Instagram and Facebook and on my website. More importantly, I constantly update my website information, herimjeon.com, HEYRIMJEON.com.
Rim Jeon, thank you so much. And you're always welcome back. My house is your house and your house is my house, hopefully.
And I just want to mention, Dr. Bob, I really am looking forward to reading your book. I research your all the books that you're doing amazing things on Amazon, and especially you have this wonderful series of books, correct?
Yes.
And I would love to get to know everybody, that were on the show, but especially about the people that you should know in the history, Black and beyond. And I'm looking for people to know in Black history and beyond. And I love to read that. And I just ordered it. So looking forward to reading your book.
Great.
Congratulations.
Hopefully you can bring it. Hopefully you can bring it and I can sign it. But thank you so much for all the work that you're doing.
Thank you so much for having me.
Okay. Well, I have something coming up next. We have Bobby C. He has the latest in the world of sports next.
And a good morning, sports fans. Big Blue has been mighty big in the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter this season has proven to be when the Giants are at their best. And at the center of it all is Bronx boy Saquon Barkley. Barkley and Daniel Jones led another comeback in the final period to get New York to 6-1 after beating Jacksonville. Final score 23-17. With Barkley and Jones at the top, the G-men are on the move. The Giants rushed for 236 yards in the victory, 100 each from Barkley and Jones, as they paced New York in a dominant fourth quarter to win their fourth straight game. New York had a scare in the final seconds, though, when Christian Kirk caught a Trevor Lawrence pass inside the 1-yard line with just seconds left on the clock. But the Giants defense prevented him from scoring what would have given Jacksonville the lead with a score and an extra point. Kirk was stopped inside the 1-yard line, and the Giants held on for the win since Jacksonville had no time left on the clock. We go inside the locker room for more with a very happy Giants football team.
A lot of teams will come in, do different things to make sure, slow down the run game. But when that happens, guys got to step up and make plays, which they've been doing all year. DJ's been balling, Slade going up top, David, Richie, all the guys, the tight ends, all those guys, coming and making plays when we need them. And as that continue to happen, and you soften up a little bit, you can get back to just getting downhill and trusting the run. And when you're able to do that, when Calf and Daves and all the guys, the coaches don't give up on the run, especially when you're behind. Having trust in it and them continue to trust it, and for us as players, making it work.
Dr. Bob, Saquon looking like you in our staff games very much this early part of the season, off to a terrific start. Jones gave the Giants the lead on a 1-yard touchdown run with 5:31 left to cap a 10-play, 79-yard drive to put New York ahead 20-17. That was the Giants' first lead of the second half after holding Jacksonville to a 3-and-out. The Giants went on a 9-play, 63-yard drive that led to a Graham Gano field goal with 1:04 left to put New York up 23-17. Using Barkley and Jones, wore down the defense en route to the win. Barkley ran for 72 yards in that fourth quarter after being shut down the majority of the game. He comes up big when you need him most, while Jones added 50 yards on the ground in the fourth. The boy can play. The stars seem to be aligning for the Giants and the Jets on the gridiron. More on gangrene later. It's some start to the season for our football teams. On the NBA hardwood, the Knicks are putting together a pretty good start, too. The Orange and Blue won their home opener at Madison Square Garden as several players contributed in an all-hands-on-deck win over the Detroit Pistons. It was the first time we saw Jalen Brunson in a Knicks uniform in a game that actually mattered. The newly signed point guard took the court for 28 minutes and scored 17 points. He also dished out 6 assists, grabbed 2 rebounds. Here's Jalen Brunson.
It's the same approach every single time I step on the court, no matter who I'm with or who I'm playing against. Obviously adjusting to a new team and new teammates, but the approach stays the same. Whatever it takes to win, every single time I step on the court, that's how it is. Whatever it takes, doesn't matter how. If you can win playing like that, that's perfect. If we're gonna be a great team, we got to win the ugly ones. Now, when things aren't going for us or we're a little frustrated or anything like that, we got to win those games. But whenever we play like that and share the ball like that, we have a high success rate of winning the game. Everyone's just playing off each other, and it's contagious. And the fact that we have guys who are just willing to do so makes it that much easier. So we got to continue to have that mindset and continue just to keep playing together.
Like Clyde likes to say, the Knicks are dishing and swishing. I was also impressed by Emmanuel Quickly, a player that I've said will be key for the Knicks this season. He came off the bench for a terrific performance at the Garden, leading the team in points with 20. More on the Knicks and their outlook in my C-List. Stay tuned. We love our New York City guards. How could you not? The Bronx has had their share of dynamic playmakers over the years. For this Monday's Turn Back the Clock, we focus on one of our favorites here at BronxNet. Back in our time machine we go. This one comes from late January 2017. Check this out. Roll 'em. This is Bobby C. reporting from Rose Hill, where we begin our look at sports this week on the college hardwood. The game of the week here in the Bronx, Dayton versus Fordham men's basketball, and the final game for Dayton senior guard Scoochie Smith in his hometown. The Fordham crowd really pumped up for this 9 p.m. matchup on Tuesday night. The Rams all about the three ball in the first half. They tie this one up 39-39 at the break. But in the second half, it was all Dayton, especially down the stretch for the senior hero of the night from the Bronx, Scoochie Smith. Big contingent of Scoochie Smith fans in the crowd tonight. How does that make you feel to play this final home game in the Bronx?
It's a good feeling, just to have all the fans, family, and friends come support and, just show their love. And I just tried to play as hard as I can tonight, show my appreciation to them.
I thought he did a great job of delivering the ball on time, on target a few times for easy baskets and ones, you name it. But, that's why he is who he is. It's hard. He went 35 minutes dealing with that type of pressure the whole game, and we asked him to defend.
Scoochie's a terrific player, and so not only does he lead them in scoring in Atlantic 10 games, but he's also their best assist guy, and he really runs their team. So they've got 4 seniors in their starting lineup, and he's the leader of them.
The Flyers would go on to outscore the Rams 36-27 in the second half and round to the 75-66 win.
We did have a lot of confidence going into the second half, so we came out here trying to, this is something we can really get, let's go for it. And then if you come up with the L, that's so painful.
We all absolutely detest losing. With that being said, our guys did fight and claw, and Dayton made more plays than us down the stretch. But I am really proud of the way our guys competed and, made it such a great game.
Stars like Scoochie and Jalen are difference makers. In Brooklyn, the Nets have 2 of them. And their first win of the season flashed just that. Behind Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant's combined 57 points, the Nets secured a wire-to-wire victory over the Toronto Raptors. Irving was the star of the show, scoring 30 points on 11 of 24 shooting, along with 7 assists. His heroics down the stretch on a barrage of jumpers carried Brooklyn across the finish line. We go back inside the locker room for more. Here's KD on the Nets' first win of the season.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, teams are going to scheme us and, basically play playoff type defense against us because they know we can score the ball, especially Kyrie and myself. We can score from all 3 levels, so they got to be a little bit more creative defensively. And I feel like every team in the league is going to do that. What they usually do on defense is going to go out the window when they play us. So we just got to be ready for anything. This team throw a 2-3, a 1-3-1, a press, boxing one. So it was good we was able to handle all that stuff and make plays. And they made some big shots down the stretch. I thought that was good defense, but they made big shots. And, so I felt like we had the game under control, but you got to give them credit for knocking down shots, being a championship organization.
Winning has certainly been a trend for the football teams of late. We couldn't have, had a roundup this morning and not acknowledged Gang Green. The New York Jets won their 4th straight game to improve to 5-2 for the first time since 2010. The only downside, of course, was the loss of rookie sensation Breece Hall. He likely will miss the remainder of the season with a torn ACL. It's a devastating blow for the Jets and Hall, one of the NFL's top rookies. In 6+ games, he proved to be one of the most exciting rookies in franchise history, becoming the first Jets player since 2009 to have a rushing touchdown in 4 straight games. We'll try and remain as positive as we can after another big win here in the Big Apple. Here's head coach Robert Saleh.
There's no quit. We don't flinch. You know, they know that whenever it gets rough, they know they're 60% more, and they have completely bought in and believe of what they're capable of. And I think, you know, like I've said, I just got so much faith in our group, especially when as the game gets deeper and deeper. I just feel like we get stronger and stronger, and it proved again in the fourth quarter. I think we outscored them 6-0. It's good. It's hard to win in this league. It's a bear to win in this league. And to be sitting here with 5 wins is awesome, but I've seen a lot of teams start 5-2 and not finish good either. So we've got to keep our heads down, keep ourselves focused. New England's coming to town, and just got to focus.
It's a good thing we have football and basketball to entertain ourselves with, because baseball in Gotham, sadly, is in the books. The Yankee season lasted a week longer than the Mets, but ultimately, like the Mets, it came up short of the goal, and that's winning the World Series. The Yankees' 2 most recent trips to the American League Championship Series ended with absolute heartbreak in Houston. The culprit remained the same this time around, with the Astros celebrating yet another advance to the Fall Classic, the World Series. Winter arrives earlier than expected here in the Bronx. I'm sorry, Yankee fans. In the end, the Yankees could not get past their Houston mental block. The Astros have now ended the Bombers' season 3 times in the last 6 years, completing a 4-game sweep this time around in the American League Championship Series. Tough, 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 tough. To the C list for some Knick optimism, some better news. Blue have a little bit of a different feel so far this early season. Coach Thibodeau is, changing it up somewhat, emphasizing up-tempo basketball, pushing the ball and playing with pace after the Knicks were next to last in that category last year. Tibbs' reasoning for the change is quite simple. He has the players to execute that style, a selfless point guard in Jalen Brunson, young players who thrive in the open court, such as R.J. Barrett and New York City native Obi Toppin. Both Derrick Rose and Julius Randle, 2 of the team's oldest players, arrived in camp noticeably slimmer and in better shape in preparation for this new style. If the Knicks season goes as well as it could go, there is no reason that this team can't significantly surpass 39 wins. Winning 37 last season left the Knicks in 11th place, 6 wins behind the Charlotte Hornets, and in the final game for that play-in to get into the playoffs. That win total from last season was with Kemba Walker and Rose running the point guard for this team. Those players with a combined age of 64 last season weren't playoff caliber guards. We know that. This season, Brunson is at the point guard spot, out from underneath the ball-dominant Luka Doncic in Dallas. There is a scenario where Brunson significantly improves on his 16.3 points, 4.8 assists, and 3.9 rebounds from last season. In addition to Brunson's possible improvement, the Knicks are a young team with several players who are breakout candidates. If all of this, or at least most of this, happens this season, I believe the Knicks will win about 43 games, a step in the right direction, and that could put them in the thick of things for one of those last playoff spots this time around. That's your look at sports. I'm Bobby C. More Open coming back after this.
And welcome back. Our last guests are the executive director of the Exhale to Inhale and a yoga instructor who are both joining us today to speak about the roles within a nonprofit organization aimed at providing healing and trauma support services for domestic violence victims. Please welcome to the show Maggie LaRocca and Lynne Negron. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you guys?
Doing well. Thank you, Bob. It's so great to see you after last week's event.
Yeah, you know, it was so amazing. A lot of great feedback. People are still talking about it today, you know, and I was a little stiff. I got to let you know. I was a little stiff in the beginning because I didn't want to deviate from what we were doing, and maybe because sometimes I loosen up and joke, and it wasn't a joking situation, but I know how to handle it the next time. Well, we got through it, and we did a fantastic job with it. Tell us a little bit about the organization, Exhale to Inhale, and the services that are offered.
Absolutely. We were founded in 2013, as you know, Bob, and we use the healing practice of trauma-informed yoga to empower survivors of sexual and domestic violence while helping communities to develop the skills and knowledge to support them. And we do that through three ways. We partner with nonprofits and shelters in New York City and now across the United States. And we provide training to yoga instructors as well as other allies who are interested in supporting our work.
And talk a little bit about the role that you play.
So one thing is, if you look at the array of services that are offered, Bob, at a shelter or domestic violence agency, there's legal support, financial support, there's shelter services that are absolutely essential. There's also mental health support. And what we're really trying to do is offer an accessible tool through trauma-informed yoga that anyone can use anytime, which really allows them to see their inherent strength and power. Survivors will take again.
Yeah. Lynne, how are you, Lynne?
Hi.
How did you get involved?
I've been practicing yoga for about 14 years and teaching chair yoga for grown seniors for about 7 years. And it was important for me to provide services to domestic violence and sexual assault survivors. And during my research, I came across Exhale to Inhale, trauma-informed scholarship for their training. And I applied and had a great time training and getting to know the agency.
And people come up to you, and do you do a one-on-one with people, or do you do a group session with individuals?
Well, I do group sessions. I teach chair yoga for group. And right now I'm teaching on Zoom, and soon I will be teaching for Exhale to Inhale.
Maggie, are we still raising funds? Did we reach our goal? I know we were close last week. I know people are still contributing to what's going on.
Yes, thanks for asking, Bob. It's National Domestic Violence Month, as you all are aware. And we just want to highlight that over 12 million men and women are impacted by domestic violence on an annual basis. Domestic violence affects everyone. It affects communities. And we, at Exhale to Inhale, are coming together to raise awareness. We're also raising funds so that we can continue to offer our support for those survivors. So as we think about the ways that individuals heal, it's often for a lifetime. And our organization provides tools to those that might not otherwise have access to them. So we are raising funds. We're able to offer our services at no charge to shelters and partners. And we also offer a weekly public class to survivors everywhere on Wednesdays at 11:30, which really builds our Exhale to Inhale community. And that support directly allows us to do that.
And how do we support it by way of donations? Should I do all right, let me start off. We did a great job with that. We raised a lot of money like that.
Absolutely.
But how
It's
can
the
people
nonprofit
contribute,
way.
people who are watching now?
Yes, there's information on our website, www.exhaletoinhale.org. The donate button is right there. You'll also get a chance to take a deeper look into some of our support and our services. You can help us by following us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, by sharing our work with those in your network. It allows us to not only build our network of supporters, it also helps to get the word out. So many of us are impacted directly or indirectly, and we want to bring hope to what is sometimes a very difficult situation for so many.
Lynne, Maggie, how did you guys feel about the last gala that we just did last week?
Well, I'll start off. I know Lynn was right at the welcome guest. It was an incredible opportunity. The first thing I noticed about Exhale to Inhale when I joined was community, Bob. And I know that you felt that while in the room. And for all of us to be together after 2 years of virtual galas, it was absolutely fantastic. How about you, Lynn?
Thank you. It was amazing. It was an amazing experience to be there with the yoga community and see everyone getting together for this cause and supporting this program. It was very important for me to join a program that shared my values and my vision to create accessible yoga space for Bronx residents and New York residents as well. So I was really excited, really happy, and honored to be there representing my community.
Great.
Thank you.
And Lynn, we have a minute left, so we're going to give you an opportunity to do what you do best. And then, Maggie, you can wrap us up by giving us the website again, right after Lynn is done.
Absolutely. Yes.
Thank you.
Over to you, Lynn.
Okay, I invite you to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Feel your feet on the floor. Put your hand on your heart. Recognize the importance of healing for yourself, for your community. Inhale deeply, exhale fully. Les invito a cerrar sus ojos si se sienten cómodos, sentir sus pies en el piso, poner una mano en el corazón, tomar este momento para reconocer la sanación, para usted, para su comunidad. Exhale completamente. Inhale profundo. Gracias por practicar con Exhale to Inhale. Thank you for practicing with Exhale to Inhale.
Thank you so much. And Maggie, where can we go for more information?
Please join us at www.exhaletoinhale.org. Thank you, Bob, for your leadership in the community. Thank you, Lynn, for all you do as a wellness instructor for Exhale to Inhale. We're so honored to be here.
There you go. Lynne Negron and Maggie LaRocca, thank you so much. And you're always welcome to come back to share more.
Thank you, Bob.
All right. Thank you for letting us share in this space and time with you. Join hosts Kevin Olaine and Darren Jaime and Rina Valentina, Tuesday and Wednesday and Friday for episodes coming up next. Always remember this: what you are is God's gift to you. What you make of yourself is your gift to God. So choose your choice and let your choice control the truth. And remember, whether you say you can or you can't, either way, you're right. So say you can, and you will. I'm the Dr. Bob Lee, and I'll see you over 107.5 WVLS. For all of us here, BronxNet crew, thank you. We love you.